video. In today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which Palestine forms an empire. Because, yeah. And so, Israel and Palestine, for some reason, their powers change. And the situation becomes the opposite, with Palestine being stronger than Israel. And this somehow happened. And I'm not quite sure how Palestine buffed itself so much. But yeah. With them invading from the Gaza Strip, and the West Bank moves north, even capturing Jerusalem. Well, I think it's West Jerusalem is what they would have captured. And yeah. And so all of Israel fell and collapsed, with Palestine now becoming the leader of the land. Palestine now starting an invasion of Syria. And they are claiming their land. They are claiming what they claim to be theirs. And they're not going to be the biggest empire in the world, but big enough. The environment I'm in, it's not the best for recording, but works. And so almost all of their push fell back. But Syria's capital is then taken. Lebanon becoming in the way for supply lines of push into Lebanon begins, with the Palestinian Empire expanding largely, even all the way to Iraq's border, with Iraq and Syria meeting in Baghdad about this to sign a peace treaty with Palestine. It's become the strongest Middle Eastern nation, somehow taken out Israel, and now has turned on all of their allies to make an empire. And so let's see what happens in the peace treaty. War on Jordan. But the only problem is Saudi Arabia decides to step in. Saudi Arabia invites Iraq to join, but Syria is in a non-aggression pact for 5 years, but they all join. The Egyptian offensive is set to begin at some point, but nobody knows when, because Egypt is on their side against Palestine. As it turns out, it's not just whoever's in the Levant they don't like the Levant, period. As this became one of their major pushes, with them quickly seizing the capital of Jordan, whatever you want to call it, who even cares at this point. As they move down into the Saudi, they're like dehydrating, with Egypt finally turning on them. And you know who else turned? Syria. But you know who turned on them? On the right side? Who turned on the side they wanted to side on? Turkey. Which is a big help for Palestine. With Turkey being ready to fight Syria and Iraq. They've been preparing for months and years. And Turkey's military is showing fierce strength. But at this point, as Turkish troops are arriving to help them in the south, Egypt's quickly moving north, to a point where they manage to connect their lines with Saudi Arabia. But with the goal being to take out Syria by the two sides, and they promise Turkey all of the Kurdish territory that they claim to get their hands on. With Iraq making a counteroffensive against Turkey and Palestine, is basically not working so well. With Palestine and Turkey moving troops and flying into Israel. Whatever. As they make a huge, significant offensive in the Sinai Peninsula. They've already taken most of it. As they have moved all the way to the Suez Canal, their forces are moving through into Saudi. With a promise of giving Iran some lands around here. Iran there. But they promise Iran land if they join, and Kuwait finally sees that they're going to be invaded by Palestine, so they join the war. But just to let you know, this war is in the favor of Palestine, with Iran invading loads of land swiftly into Iraq. But since it's the Palestine's video, we will make Palestine the empire. With help with Iran, they managed to encircle Baghdad, and this is where Baghdad falls. And with the fall of Baghdad came the fall of northern Iraq, where the Kurds are. And this fall was significant markings of the war, which shown the strength of the nations. With Saudi Arabia managing to liberate its lands. Almost all of their lands, they pushed Palestine back significantly. But with Egypt neutralized at this point, they have no concerns of it. Iraq is pretty much neutralized. They still need to go through the lands. Jordan is unfight-worthy. But yeah, with the help of Iran and Turkey, Palestine manages to reach the coast of Iraq in their Kuwait. And well, Saudi Arabia gave a choice. Surrender and don't get punished, or continue fighting and get punished. They decide to continue fighting because they think they can win the war. But unfortunately, the world didn't agree with it. And the big encirclement's held in the desert. And Saudi Arabia basically surrenders. Egypt has already gave up, but Saudi surrendered fully. So let's see how the peace treaty goes. They annexed lots of lands from Iraq. They annexed all of Kuwait. Huge swaths of lands from Saudi. The Sinai Peninsula, guys, they annexed parts of Syria, yeah. They annexed all of Jordan. And let's see what it looked like in the treaty. Now I'm going to scroll. Back here. Nope, before there. Before there, guys. So, here. That's basically what. And yeah. In all of the Syrian lands, they annexed all of Jordan, as you can tell, and that's what it kind of looks like. Well, really, I'd be back even further than here, probably here. Yeah, that's what it looks like, what they annexed. So it's a lot of territory, guys. Now, let's go to here. So that's what would happen if they made an empire. Is this empire big? Not really. It's probably smaller than Saudi Arabia. It's pretty small. But empires weren't always giants on the face of Earth. No, sometimes they were smaller. Sometimes they were bigger. Sometimes they were better. Sometimes they were stronger. Like the Mongol Empire or the British Empire and French empires gives the idea empires need to be big. But not necessarily were they always big. Bulgarian Empire, that was pretty big, but wasn't that big. How about the Japanese Empire with Korea and Taiwan? Let's just consider that. They didn't have, and Manchukuo, at one point they didn't have that big, and they were still an empire. Well, how about I don't know what this empire was called, but there was an empire in Latvia, right? That was really small. And thank you for watching today's video. Please subscribe. Why should you subscribe? Because we're 94 subscribers away from our goal of 1,000 subscribers by September 1st. And our next special will be at 1,000 subscribers. So tune in, subscribe, and like. And today, this evening, I'll make sure to put the short public. Because I decided to put it private again. So it just came out. Yeah. Still gets as many views. It's just sad like I messed up. Now I'll have more comments to answer. Fine, I'm joking about that. I like answering comments. They're chill. And thank you for watching today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye! Wild Mapper gone.